The following video is a kind of an opinion piece about the discourse on the internet being, I think the word out of touch or cringe gets used, and honestly I'm starting to think that would be the proper way of referring to it. This is concerning a single tweet on a Twitter account held by a person who trended on Google above zero, where he had been the entire time, from August to October of 2025, and apparently wishes to do so more. Again, don't know what caused it, don't care. Brilyn Hollyhand is age 19, according to what I can look up. Date of birth was in 2006 sometime. And in 2026, around the same time as the birthday or whatever, that's what it looks like, but I can't prove that, on Twitter at about 9 p.m., for the views, 3 million, said the following. Now, I'm not going to really deeply analyze it because that's not what it's for. If anybody's curious, I'm analyzing here troll speak. Okay. I'm presuming Republicans loathe or hate Obama. Loathe is a specific meaning, but we're just going to say hate. Like you, apparently that's referring to liberals or just anybody else, hate Trump. Like or the same or whatever. And then this individual then says the word accept, which is not the right word grammatically, stylistically. Republicans loathe or Republicans hate Obama because Obama hates America, which is a bumper sticker statement that doesn't make any sense and has little or no evidence to it, even from the people who claim this. When you ask them, how did he hate America? They then yell, you're triggered, I'm owning the libs and you're one of them. They don't actually explain themselves because there's no reasoning for it. This is a taunt. The next one is, everybody hates Trump because they hate America. And again, there's no basis for this, there's no explanation, and there isn't meant to be. Let's get some context. From the year 2009 to 2017, I'm so used to saying teen for everything for the years, and then aunties. But anyway, from 2009 to 2017, Barack Obama was president. And from 1997 up to 2008, just before he became president, he was a politician in Illinois. That's 20 years serving his country, because by definition, that's considered public service, being a politician or being an appointee or whatever. Okay? And all you have to do is show that he hated America in some way. Actually show it. That's not going to be in a bumper sticker bullshit statement like this, saying, well, I'll analyze it in a minute, because there's very little to analyze. But that's 20 years serving his country by the time you were 11, and you say, we loathe Obama. You were 11 at the time, and it's possible you were ideologically and politically primed or aware. You could be awoken or woke, or you could be brainwashed. It doesn't matter which way, because I'm going to analyze what you actually said here. That got, again, you did this for the views. You were 11 at the time. I don't really believe you had any knowledge of any of this, but you might have. When we're that young, before the age of 13, we're not at the age where we're allowed to make self-reflecting, real discussions and conclusions. That's why you have to be 13 or above for many, many things in societies, multiple societies. MAGA supporters. How many of them are there? 27% of all voters. 54% of all of the people who voted for Trump claim to be MAGA. That's as of 2026, February 5th. March 12th of this year, 25% of adults and 31% of all white people and 63% of Republicans claim to be MAGA. And as of January 29th of 2026, earlier, 27% of the population, period, full stop, like Trump's policy. And that matches up with the voters, which means, or is pretty close to it. Almost exactly the same number, which means, if you're not aware of this, what that strongly indicates is that the voters are, as far as the numbers outcome, are, at least if they're claiming to be MAGA, they're also the only ones claiming in public these, wait a minute, voters are not the majority of the population, so that number doesn't match. That's interesting. So why am I bringing that up? Well, that kind of clears our palate, distracts us from the obvious most important thing about Obama hates America and we hate Trump because we hate America. This straw man. Not so brilliant. Unholy hand here. You're not in a minority group in the sense that people use as a pseudo-defense against anybody criticizing them. Everybody thinks you're wrong. Everybody thinks you're just wrong. You don't know what you're talking about because you're part of this minority population. You're not part of the majority that's supposed to rule in a democracy. There's a little graph I'm going to bring up just so I can say I opened it, and I'll see if I can get it open without it doing drastic things to what I'm trying to do here. Just made this a second or two ago. Let's see if I can finish this up as a video and not be too bad. As of January 20th through 26th of 2026, people voting, if they were to vote, no confidence in Donald Trump. That's a specific interpretation of things. On leadership, 51% would vote against him on that. 52% on mental fitness, 50% on physical fitness. So he breaks even on being perceived somewhat not grossly unhealthy. His picks for advisor have a 57% no confidence risk. The respective democracy, 60% no confidence. Confidence in his ethics, same thing. Yeah, but no. Now, on you, not so brilliant, unholy hand, you became a search term only last year. So, you know, as far as the internet's concerned, you're a nobody, and that's why you wanted your 3 million upvotes or attaboys. You can go on Reddit and get more karma, right? You could do that. It'd be less annoying. So I'm going to deconstruct, yes, the mighty power of deconstructing a neener on Twitter. Your assertion is that you are part of a group, we'll call them Republicans or conservatives, or I call them neo-Confederates. But whatever group you wish to be associated with here, your call, not mine. We'll call them the right-wingers. Right-wingers hate Obama like, I guess, left-wingers hate Trump. Okay. The reasoning we have a problem with Trump, a lot of us didn't think Trump was a problem until he started talking, and his method for debate showed us that he was a big problem. I'm not kidding. A lot of us are like, oh, okay, someone who's not a career politician. Virtually everyone said that. The Republican Party was awash with lots of options and possibilities for the first time in decades. And we loved it. Democrats and Republicans both. We all high-fived each other because Obama was leaving and we get to start over. Maybe we make something good happen. Maybe it doesn't work. That was the first election. Ever since that election, and Trump won, we have learned that an entire, not half the population, but a pretty good portion of it, is okay with literally self-destructing the United States because of this guy. Let's move on. Which means, yeah, there's something wrong with a bunch of people now. Or there was then, and still is, actually. But you're saying the same reasons for hating Trump are the same reasons for Obama. Or they're like that. Except you're claiming Obama hated America and Trump is hated because the people who don't like him hate America. That means they're not like. We loathe Obama, unlike why you loathe Trump. We loathe Obama because he loathed America. You loathe Trump because you loathe America. But you said it's like at all. These are literally not even partially related concepts. So let's now get rid of the we loathe Obama like you loathe Trump, except get rid of that, because that, again, grammatically, this is fucking stupid. And by the way, if anybody's not aware of it, people who practice debate based on vibes, this is what I'm calling it, are the same kind of people who decide to wrap their argument and demand to be given the points for a debate team argument. Years ago, we criticized assholes like that because they would scream you were refusing to give them their points in a debate because they ignored debate team processes, where it became a shouting match, rap, anything other than debating the points and being able to make a cogent argument, which a lot of you called woke. It really got bad. I have a video where I complained about that too. You're doing the thing that your side complained about because it had no merit, because it really didn't, and this doesn't have any merit. So let's get to the comparison. That's the reasons the conservatives don't like Obama is a claim that Obama hated America, and the claim here is that the reason the left doesn't like Trump is because we don't like America. Okay, let's do the last part. We don't like Trump because he opened his mouth and told us exactly what he was, and we don't like him. Number one. Number two, his actions are destructive to our own country. Next, third, it's pretty fucking obvious that's his goddamn job. He's a fucking foreign agent, and he's weakening the United States internationally, period, full stop, on behalf of countries that want America to be utterly useless, and more importantly, out of their way so they can get away with shit. Because that's what they're claiming, that's what insiders claiming, whistleblowers are claiming it, and that's where all the evidence points, because it wasn't a P tape, a recording that the Russians or whoever has that they threatened Trump with. Whether it exists or not is not relevant. If he thinks it exists, he will do what he's told. It's a different letter of the alphabet before P tape. There's a recording of him somewhere on Epstein's Island doing something horrible. And there was an overt attack on America in general, of getting anybody with any level of influence, it doesn't matter what kind, compromised by catching them in the act of either soliciting or participating in or committing a crime of that type. That is very likely what happened. That's what it's pointing to. If anybody out there is a conspiracy theorist, please explain to me why that isn't at least plausible at this point. Donald Trump has done everything in his power in this last term, and also in the first one partially, to make America less great on the world stage and make us get out of the way. You can come up with your MAGA-like statement if you want to. Claiming we don't like Trump because you hate America. This is a taunt that every liberal and everybody who opposes the Republican Party has heard for literally 50 years. It only works because people feel a need to address this. You're not on topic. Why do people hate Obama? Why do people hate Trump? And how are they similar? You didn't provide similarity. You don't like Obama because you claim he hated America. And you claim that everybody who doesn't like Trump just hates America. You could say hatred of America makes people hate Trump, and hatred of America is something that Obama was guilty of. You're basically just claiming America is hated by liberals. That's all you had to say. So, ergo, we don't like Obama because he hates America, and you don't like Trump because you hate America. That would at least be cogent, but at this point it's not, because the reasons each side hates somebody are very different, so they're not like anything. Now, some of you already said it. Yes, this is an example of keeping an idiot, me, busy. Putting up a bumper sticker statement like this to get someone to do a long response is the intended effect. You wanted that effect, right? Anyway, you're a ne'er-do-well, you're a noob, welcome to the party, and you're not accomplishing anything. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You will need